some breaking news for you guys. I got this message today in the afternoon from one of our subscribers, Kyle and Kwok. Shout out to Kai. So apparently, two UFC pay-per-views were leaked. If you look at the pictures, I'll see if I can post it. It looks like they were taken in the war room in the UFC Vegas headquarters there, where they like to make the matchups and everything. So it looks legit. Also, no one's really came out and denied any of this, and it seems to be on some of the websites I've been seeing. So it seems like these are pretty legit, but also they're not 100% because the UFC has not announced it, but I'm assuming they will. So let's get into it. Sean O'Malley, Pedro Munoz, that one has been announced. Great fight. I think that's one of O'Malley's toughest fights, other than Chito Vera, of course. That's going to be a banger. I think that one's going to go to the distance. I don't think Sean O'Malley is going to be able to put Pedro Munoz away in devastating fashion the way he's been doing all these other guys. I think that one's definitely going to go the distance. Who do I think is going to win? I don't know. That's going to be tough, but I think over for sure on that one. Next, we got Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira. We already knew that one was coming up. That's going to be a good fight. Striker versus the MMA guy. I like Strickland in this one just because the grappling aspect. I don't know. Pereira's ground game's too great. But they really want to push Pereira because he's the only one who's going to give Adasanya some trouble. You see Cannonier fighting Izzy Adasanya in the main event, and it's just a bad matchup for Cannonier. I mean, he's great, but the fact that he's a striker, he's not a grappler, he's just going to get pieced up by Adasanya. So I'll take Strickland in that one. And let's see, the co-main event. This is the people's main event. It might not be the main event of the card, but this is definitely the people's main event. And the one that's going to get the most eyes. So Hamza Chemayev versus Nate Diaz. Wow. When I first seen this, I'm like, man, why would they do Nate Diaz so dirty like this? But it's his last fight on the contract. They're going to try to build Hamza Chemayev, and I find it's perfect because they don't want to put Hamza Chemayev with Kobe Covington just yet. I think that's too hard right now. I think they're going to still, after that Gilbert fight, they're like, okay, we're going to let him build a bit more. He's only got 10 or 11 pro fights, so they want to get him some more experience, and I think the Nate Diaz fight makes a lot of sense. He's a big name, and it's an easy fight for Hamza Chemayev. I just don't see Nate Diaz winning. I mean, let's see. He's got the cardio advantage, and that's about it. He's got better jiu-jitsu, but I don't see him being able to submit a guy like Hamza Chemayev. And the striking, I'm going to go with Hamza Chemayev. The power, Hamza Chemayev. To be honest, Nate Diaz shouldn't be even fighting at welterweight. He's actually a lightweight. He just doesn't want to cut the weight anymore. It's too hard. But he's a guy who should be at 155, and Hamzat's a guy who should be at 185. You see his video of him cutting weight for the Gilbert Burns fight, dude. It was brutal. I mean, I see him only being able to make that weight a few more times, and the fact that it is so difficult, he probably should be at middleweight, and Nate Diaz should be at lightweight. So it's a awful matchup for Nate. The thing is, Nate Diaz is hard to finish. He might stick in there and just get shit kicked for 5 rounds or doctor stoppage because he does get cut open. That's going to be very interesting fight. I guess Nate Diaz just sort of wants out of his contract. He's sort of just like, whatever, give me whoever. And maybe he sees holes in Hamzat's game after the Gilbert Burns. You see a lot of people now, they want the Hamzat fight after seeing the Gilbert Burns fight. Maybe they see holes in his game or whatever it may be. But man, that right hand that Gilbert landed on Hamzat knocks out 99% of people, you know. Oh, it wobbled Usman. So I'd be surprised if Nate Diaz wins that fight, I'd be very surprised. I think he's going to be a huge, huge underdog going into that. And they're just going to build the Hamza Chemayev name. I don't think Nate Diaz is going to re-sign with the UFC. I really don't. After all this shit talking, I think he's going to go to boxing. If he's lucky, he gets the Jake Paul fight, or maybe goes to Bellator and just gets a few more big pay-per-views, a couple more checks, and then he's going to be retiring real soon. And then in the main event, we got Izzy Adasanya, Jared Cannonier. Like I said, horrible, horrible matchup for Jared Cannonier. He's going to get pieced up, man. Striker, he's a striker, and you're fighting probably the number 1 or 2 striker in that division. It's Alex Pereira, and it's Izzy Adesanya when it comes to best strikers in that division, and it's not even close. So if you want to beat a guy like Adesanya, you're going to need a super high-level striker like a Pereira, right? And in that fight, who knows, Izzy might turn grappler. He's a purple belt now. I don't know if he wants to strike with Pereira. And I see someone like a Hamza Chemayev giving Izzy Adesanya a hard time just because of the wrestling and the grappling aspect. So I'm assuming Izzy Adesanya is a huge favorite in that one. And yeah, Izzy Adesanya. And then the next one, let's see here. So Saturday, this is also on July card. We got Stipe Miocic versus Johnny Bones Jones for the interim title. Whew, that's a banger. Who do I think is going to win? If I were to, I think Jon Jones. I mean, it's hard to bet against Jon Jones. The only thing is he hasn't fought in a while, right? He's been off for, let's say, a few years now. Problem is, Stipe's been more active, but at the same time, yeah, you've been more active, but your last fight, you were knocked out viciously. So I don't know, would you rather be more active or have your last fight end in a vicious knockout? So I don't know how Stipe is going to be able to bounce back from that. And then Jon Jones, I've never seen him at heavyweight, but you're going to have to assume that he's going to dominate the fight. The grappling aspect I'll give to Jon Jones, and then the striking is going to be close because Stipe is a pretty good striker, and Jon Jones, he doesn't pack that huge one-punch knockout power like a Ngannou or Derek Lewis or Tai Tuivasa. So I think, I'm going to go with Jon Jones on that, but it's going to be, I think that one goes the distance. I think that one's going over. I don't see either guy getting the finish in that fight. If there is a finish, I'd probably think Jon Jones might get the sub. I don't think he's going to be able to knock out Stipe, but who knows, because Stipe's chin is cracked from Ngannou. But that's going to be a hell of a fight, man. And I'm glad to see Jon Jones back in there. Obviously, they're going to try to push Jon Jones for that heavyweight title. That's the UFC's big plan. Hopefully, if Ngannou sticks around, I don't know if he will. Who's going to budge first, right? Is Ngannou going to budge or Dana White going to budge? And the thing is, if you give Ngannou this big contract, it sort of opens up the floodgates for everyone else now who's going to be demanding more money. And if you're UFC, you do not want that. You want to keep paying them less and keep making your high profits high. And if you notice, for WME, UFC was the only one making them tons of money. So I think they probably might have to get rid of Ngannou, and if Ngannou goes fight Tyson Fury, he's probably going to get fucked up and head to Bellator or one of these ONE FC smaller promotions than the UFC. And also 2 heavyweight fights coming up. We got Aspinal versus Blades and Tai Tuivasa versus Ciryl Gane. Let's start with Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. I got Ciryl Gane being a horrible matchup. Horrible. I mean, I don't even think Tai Tuivasa is going to be able to land. I mean, you see how Ngannou's got great power. Probably hits harder than Tai Tuivasa and Lewis, but he couldn't touch Ciryl Gane. Couldn't touch him. He turned wrestler real quick. Whether his knee was injured or not, he's not touching Cyril Gane, and I don't think Tai Tuivasa is going to be able to touch Cyril Gane. He's just too high level of a striker. He's been doing it too long. His movement's too good. Now, do I think he's going to be able to finish Tai Tuivasa? I don't know, because Tai Tuivasa's got a crazy chin, and he might be able to just take those shots and get picked apart for 5 rounds. And I think Cyril Gane's just a horrible matchup for him on paper and in the UFC, because Tai Tuivasa is not really a grappler. So now you're forced to play into Gane's game, and that's no good. And next you got Aspinal and Blades. Now this is super interesting. Super interesting. I am very high on Aspinal. I think he's great. I think Blades is a beast. He's only lost to, top guys. Ngannou and I think Derek Lewis were the ones to only knock him out. I don't know if Aspinall has that same knockout power as a Derek Lewis. I don't think he does as a Ngannou. And then he's not getting Curtis Blades to the ground. Curtis Blades is wicked wrestling. However, if Curtis Blades take Aspinall to the ground, now you're in Aspinall's world, because Aspinall has wicked jiu-jitsu. But I don't know how good Aspinall's jiu-jitsu is off his back. There's different types of jiu-jitsu games. There's top-heavy guys, and then there's guys who play the guard game, like a Paul Craig. Like, that's a dangerous guard. You don't want to be in that guard. But then you got guys like Damian Maia, heavy top game. They're going to take you down, smash, pass, and that's their game. So that's going to be a really close fight. I'm very interested to seeing Blades and Tom Aspinall. I got to really study for that one before I give you my pick. But I see that one being super close on the odds. And I'd bet that fight to go over as well. I don't think anyone's getting finished unless Aspinall maybe lands a nice uppercut or big punch or something like that. But for the most part, I don't think he's going to be able to take Curtis Blades down and submit him. But who knows? Anyways, that's your breaking news. And yeah, UFC this Saturday, 274. And we got some events coming up. Also, the Grand Prix this Sunday. So you're going to want to tune in.